Good luck.
Hey guys, and welcome to another rousing edition
Rousing edition
of the Game Addicts podcast, the show where we talk about the modern and retro video games that we play and collect. I am your host, Brando. He's Player 2 Mike.
Hello.
And this week, we're going to be talking about some of the worst games in our collection or that we've played in general. I
don't own any of them.
Well, you said you owned maybe one or two. Your collection is smaller than mine. Granted, I've actually 3 years ago. I saw a post from mine 3 years ago on Time Hop.
Yeah.
I just hit 300 games 3 years ago.
I don't know what I'm at. I'll have to check.
I think I'm at 818 currently on
Would
my
you say
list.
that's about 150 with all the additional?
It all depends on
the
how you want
stack?
to count it, because here's the thing. If mine has a triple pack and there's a disc for each one, I count that as a game. But if it's on one disc, I don't.
Okay.
So, like, for example, I have the Ezio trilogy.
So what if I have owned multiple copies?
So
of
see,
one?
I do count the Ezio trilogy really uniquely, because on the 360 it's one disc each. On the PS3 it's one disc. However, the two games install from the disc, so then those game data ends up being on the disc, from the disc onto the console, and only one game is on the disc. So it's really funky. So I do count that as three. But like Final Fantasy Origins, which has 1 and 2 on it on one disc, I count that as one game.
Right.
And then when you have Chronicles, which is 4 and Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
That's that. Okay, first off, it's Final Fantasy Chronicles, but it's 4 and Chrono Trigger.
Right.
And then 5 and 6 Anthology. So I count. You can buy them individually. Trust me, used places, if they only get one of them, they will try and sell one of them.
Yeah.
You know, they are like that. They'll say FF6 only, or they will put it on there and downgrade the price for
Garbage. I want all of it.
Right. But
Anyhow.
We're going to be talking about some of the worst games that we've ever played today. And then, of course, we have some news. I do have some news. If you guys are watching this, how we've started doing our episodes now, and that we've started doing this basically kind of because we've changed the launch day for the podcast, is that typically we would record on Fridays, and now it's like kind of seems like Thursday has been the day.
Right.
But we don't launch until Thursday. So this week's show is actually last week's recording.
Right.
So like, if Tuesday some major news thing happens, like it actually, like I have a lot of my news came from yesterday, which is actually, by the time you're listening to this, last Wednesday.
Yeah.
But so I mean, we're no longer totally up to speed on that. But that's just, you know what, that's the way podcasting goes sometimes, and I'm not too concerned about it, because the people listening will get to hear our take on the news stories that I've selected.
The major events we will be like E3 and stuff like
E3,
that.
I will actually fast track the episode and get that up as quickly as possible.
We can live stream.
That would be nice if we
That'd
could.
be lovely.
You know, that'd be nice. Well, see, here's the thing: is that we are a very DIY podcast. We aren't major production studio. We are either crammed into my game room because it's not set up for filming.
Yeah.
Or we are shifting setups in your place. I think this is like the 5th or 6th different setup that we've had.
Well, we got the addition of my nice kitchen table that I decided I didn't want downstairs anymore, because
how much fun was this moving upstairs?
I don't know. Joanna did it.
Wow.
She has bruises. That's what I said. She had bruises all over when I came. I was like, I walked in, walked around, I looked, and I said, "Did you move the table?" "Yeah." "What did you hurt?" That was my next. "Are you okay?" "Well, I smashed my foot, and I did. She had a bunch of stuff, so she did it. She just flipped it over and slid it up the stairs. Go her.
That's awesome. I mean,
Can't complain. She
cool.
tried.
Yeah. She definitely deserves a nice swig of this Monster. What's this? Ultraviolet. Now,
Bottle cap.
It's basically a great bottle cap is what we decided.
Yes.
I am a energy drink connoisseur of sorts. I've been trying to lay off. Today it was a big failure, massive failure. At work they gave out those little safety tokens. Did you see those?
See, okay, so being on the pilot team, I don't get any of this crap. So, like, you know your pledge things? I didn't get one of those. I didn't get a $3 thing.
That's what that thing was.
I didn't get that either. I'm all over him, but we're like, everybody's like, hey, everybody else is getting this. Where are we? Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so I got a $3 thing, and I'm like, hey, I can go get a drink. And so I went down and bought a Venom. Get me through the day. And then I got off work 2 hours before you did.
Yep.
So I did a bad thing, and I went, game looking. Not game shopping, game looking. There's the difference.
Yeah.
And then my mouth was pretty parched by the time I got here. So I got me one of these. I had not tried it yet. And thankfully it is, I don't feel as bad drinking this because it's 2 servings. And there's only by the time you get done with it, it's you're overdosing on B vitamins, but there's no calories in it. So, and no sugar.
So my gaming experience yesterday, which I have pickups for us.
I don't have any. These are my bad games.
So I was literally sitting.
What was that?
I don't know. It sounded like somebody slammed up against the house.
That is crazy.
Anywho, so I went yesterday.
That moved the house.
I know. I don't know what it was. Maybe we should stop podcast so I can look just in case somebody slammed into the house.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I'm not. It all depends on how entertaining it is, but I might not just cut it.
Well, let's do it.
All right.
Slide her forward.
Careful with the great bottle cap.
I think a kid just kind of threw a ball and hit the house.
There's no way that was a ball. No way.
I don't know, something.
Walk in front of the camera. There's no way. Oh.
No. Wait. What are you looking at? I can't get there. Maybe it was somebody downstairs.
I hope not.
We're leaving that in the podcast.
I really hope not.
I don't know. Nothing outside? I heard his cage rattle and then a thump.
Right? That's what I thought too.
I thought maybe it was him.
Yeah, but he wouldn't make the whole house shake.
No, but Zuki jumping off something does shake the upstairs.
That sounded like it came from outside though.
I know. Huh? Oh well, I guess. Huh?
Tell you what. That was interesting.
There was enough to quite literally shake the house.
Oh, dude, it was nuts. That was I almost got excited. I'm like, was that paranormal for a second? And I'm like,
please don't.
Something in your house?
Why do you get to put that on me? Why do you put that curse on me?
Maybe something picked up your entire section downstairs and just dropped it.
You know what? Don't be saying that stuff because then Joanna's gonna flip out.
Well, she's not here.
Yeah, but just think if she listens to this podcast, she'd be like, "What happened? What happened? What is in my house?"
That's staying in. So first off, let's go ahead and go through your pickups.
Okay, so I literally yesterday I got home and I just was like, I need to go to this replay. I had the feeling that something that I've been looking for a long time was there. And I was right. I was very excited when I looked through this. It's the first thing I found. ODT, Escape or Die Trying. Now, this isn't a great game, but I've spent a lot of hours actually trying to beat this game 100%. So when you complete the game, you die. Unless you find all the hidden items in the game to unlock the last world or section for you to complete. I've never found every key. With a guide, I've never found every key. Zuki, stop it.
I heard that. I'm like,
he's just sitting there rolling the ball around.
I had no idea what that was, and I'm like, it sounds like something is growling and crawling up your floor, but it was just a little ball. That has got my mind racing now. I'm thinking of everything's just messed up.
So it's 16 spells to learn and 4 deadly weapons, and you pick up ammunition for each weapon. It is I like the game. It's not a great game. It's very difficult, but basically the whole world, you're on a teeter, on cliffs.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, if you fall, you die.
So ODT, or die trying.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty neat. BT Dub, I have extra jewel cases, I think.
Yeah, I figured.
If you need to replace that.
So this game has been played, I believe. No.
Well, they buff their games too, almost.
Yeah. But it looks brand freaking new. Now, the next game that I pull out here for the PS1, Vigilante 8, Second Offense. Now, I've never seen this game in person before. And look, I love it when they do that.
Yeah, easy cleanup, man.
Easy cleanup.
See, I've seen that game everywhere.
I hardly ever
and
see
for all three systems that it's on.
I've only seen it for... I've seen Vigilante 8 for the 64 and the PlayStation. I've never seen it on
this one is
the Cube.
Oh, no, it's not on Cube. This one is also on Dreamcast.
I've never seen it on Dreamcast. Anyways, so this is a great game. This is... I mean, if you know anything about Vigilante 8 or you know anything about Twisted Metal, it's in the era of Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
And people are trying to make it. I've never played it. So this thing looks like it. I opened the cellophane just now. It has no...
That disc looks really, really sharp looking.
It is. It looks... It literally... I'm trying to get the thing out of here without tearing it up.
You ruined it.
Look at how pristine that is.
Mm-hmm. It's been sitting there for a while.
Right.
It's got some marks from where it's been sitting.
No, that's from where I just took it out.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Well, I was talking about like
some of those.
Like you can feel like where the paper has been rusting against.
He's still trying to play with that ball over there.
Cats. If it's not toddlers on this podcast, it's cats.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
An ad for Pro Skater.
Yeah. So it's really pristine. The jewel case isn't broken, which, if any of you collectors know, finding a jewel case that is unbroken, unscratched, never happens. Very rarely.
I've gotten some good ones, but I've also gotten some complete crap ones. Which why going to Goodwill, finding big extra jewel cases. They do have them there sometimes.
Yes.
And they'll have them for like 10 for like $2. Great investment, because then either if you have a broken case, all you gotta do is fix it. I repaired my FF7 case, which was completely demolished to the point where I eventually had to take the discs out of the case, put them in a booklet, and so now that's been restored completely.
So then I got the Evil Dead video game. I've never seen this, and me and my wife love the Evil Dead. Like, we have been watching the Showtime, and we're through it for like the second. Stars, yeah.
Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Ash versus the Evil Dead, like the third time through. We love it. It is amazing. So I've never played it, so I'm really excited to play this. Joanna's actually going to play it tonight, so I lose my game room. Because she said, oh my God. And the name of this game is Evil Dead, A Fistful of Boomstick.
You know what's funny?
What?
All right, little hidden thing. Mass Effect 3, you can play it with the Kinect on the Xbox 360. And you can use vocal commands to do certain things. Have Garrus use Overload. Something. You have to yell it. Because, you have to pretty much, because you're yelling it towards your towards your Kinect, and then you can say pistol, and then in your ship it'll ship to a pistol.
I don't like that.
But for shotgun, there are two code words. One is shotgun, the other one is boomstick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that is the second, I think, Evil Dead reference. In Mass Effect 1, there's an Evil Dead reference, or Army of Darkness reference.
Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, the same series. So another game that I had to have, which I've never played before, but I played the other two.
You never played the first one?
I never played the first one. Fable.
Yeah.
I've heard it is the best one out of all three.
I agree.
And I'm excited to play it because I'm a big Fable 3 fan. I actually liked 2, but after playing 3 is better. But from what I've been told, this one is amazing. The third one is like a little bit under par compared to this one.
Honestly, I haven't spent too much time after this one. I tried playing one of the other ones after that, and it just never really matched up.
So these couple of games here, I had to buy. One, they're super cheap, and I'm going to own them anyways. 2, I know that I'm never going to find them on the system that I want them for.
Because they don't exist on that system.
Yeah.
So what game would that be, Mike?
Dead to Rights 1 and 2.
And what system are they on?
Xbox.
And they're also on the GameCube, and they're also on the PS2. What system they are not? What they're not for the PS1, right?
No. I know now when I really sit down and thought about it.
Yeah.
It was GameCube.
Okay, well, see, here's the thing: is that we do retrospective episodes. If you've been listening, you know we do some retrospective episodes where we talk about the system and we talk about some of our favorite games for that system. And for the PS1,
I've got to hit him. He's messing with stuff. Hey, get out of here!
We're trying to talk about video games. Get out of here, kitty.
Quit playing with that. I just flipped it over too, and he didn't touch it all for like months. And now that we're in here, he's like, "I'm gonna play with that."
Where has this been my whole life?
Right.
Okay, so we were doing a PS1 retrospective original PlayStation, and we were going through our top 10 games. And Mike over here, unfortunately, doesn't own every single game that he loves for that system because he's growing his collection. He basically...
Slow burn.
You're going more slow burn. Well, that's what I'm at now because I went so hog wild for so long. But, like, you're going slow burn for everything. Just you're not really venturing out too much past our...
Local area, yeah.
You know, I've gone out. I've gone up north. I've gone down to Indy quite a few times, and we've gone and had some really big, like, massive funded. Like, I'm spending X amount on games,
right?
And I'm either going to get some rare ones that I know I'm going to have to pay out the ass for anyway, or I'm going to just build up my numbers. Like, I don't really do numbers. I'm not looking for a complete collection, but for PS1, I buy a lot of PS1 because it's my favorite system,
right?
Going back to PS1, you said the wrong game.
I did.
You said Dead to Rights.
I did.
And instantly I looked at you and went, I squinted and went, wait, what?
You're wrong.
I'm like, no, buddy. I'm sorry to have to do this on the podcast.
It's okay.
But
it happens for those that, you know, most of you don't know who we are other than here, but I do this a lot where I just get scatterbrained. I'm like, yes, it is. It's for that system. I know it is. Because as a child, I was a late burn through systems.
You didn't get them a lot of the times, like, right on the money, did you?
A lot of the PlayStation, my dad wanted one immediately.
Right. But, I mean, for some of the other systems, it wasn't the case. Like,
the Cube was down to, like, $100 when I got it.
So that was the same when I got it too, yeah. But I got mine for like one game.
And then the Xbox I bought only for the fact that it could be chipped. And I didn't actually put anything on it other than Super Nintendo and Nintendo games. It had nothing but those on there.
It's funny.
So
I have played the first Dead to Rights to death, I guess you could say.
I love them both.
The second one, I didn't play as much. I rented it, and I didn't like it nearly as much. Number one, they replaced the voice actor for the main guy.
They did.
I don't know who the guy in the first one is. Second one,
out.
we'll see. Like the second one, it doesn't say in the back.
No.
It won't, because he's a nobody. But the second one, I actually know the guy's name. That's Stephen J. Blum.
Huh.
He's a voice actor. He does a lot of. He's a Vincent in Advent Children. He is Spike Spiegel, Cowboy Bebop. He is Grunt in Mass Effect 2 and 3. He's a lot of crap.
So those are my pickups. Now, granted, this one I knew I specifically was looking for this one. This one was right down the road from Fable. These two, I had ODT as the first. Like I walked straight up and I walked straight to it. Like it was.
They had a lot of PS1 games in there.
They always do. I was looking for, Legend of the Dragoon. I still need that to fill out my personal favorites of that system.
Could have bought that for you like 2 months ago.
I know, and I messed it all up. And then the Vigilante 8, Second Defense, I just saw it, and I was like, yeah, I'm buying it because I like the game.
Well, and also, if you buy 5, you get the 6 free.
Right. So I went ahead, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy these no matter what.
And then you get one of them for free.
I get one of them for free, and my Xbox collection is very much lacking. So, like my PlayStation 2, as everybody has seen in the last one, has grown exponentially.
Yeah.
And my PlayStation 1, which is the system I grew up with, really getting hardcore into gaming. So I collect a lot for it. That's the first place I go. And then the second place is the cabinet. For Super.
I go PlayStation first, PSP second,
Yep.
GameCube third, and then the cabinet.
That's almost the same cycle I do sometimes because it's on the path.
Well,
It's like when you walk into the PlayStation 1, next to it's PSP/Vita.
Yeah.
Then past the Wii is the GameCube.
Yeah, I don't look at much of the Wii anymore. I used to, but I got most of what I want for that. For the Cube, I'm mostly done for the Cube now, but I still don't own RE4 for it. I ended up getting RE4 really cheap on the PS2.
Mm-hmm.
Same game.
Right.
But like that was originally exclusive to the Cube, and I want to get that. Because that was the reason to own the Cube for a point in time. You know, it was an awesome game.
The Cube really didn't have a whole lot of exclusives. It did, but they weren't home runs.
What exclusive there were usually...
especially early in its life cycle.
Well, like, they were, like, in studio. Your great Nintendo games.
Yeah.
You know? But as far as non-Nintendo exclusives, like, the Resident Evils, like, you know, like, they remake, and then RE0, and then 4. And then they ported all the other ones over. And then the remake of Metal Gear Solid was there, which is, depending on your tastes, I guess.
I gotta pick that one up too.
That one's great. That one's getting expensive. It's getting I think it's like $40 to $50 now, depending on where you go. And I ended up getting lucky because I'm still mad at myself for selling all my crap because I had every single Resident Evil and the ports, the RE3, the 2, and then Code Veronica.
Right.
Those are $30-$40 used, and I had them all, and I got them when they were starting to go cheaper. So mad at myself, but be that as it may, I actually have news.
Ooh, news.
I'm gonna try and just riff it. I'm not gonna look at my phone. So this first news article that I heard, I didn't read any of this, is a addendum to a rumor. So basically, it's confirming a rumor.
Okay.
Are you all ready for this? No. 2. Count them 2. 1, 2. Metroid games in development right now.
Get the out of town.
Retro Studios. The last game that they made was Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze,
which was good.
More than likely are making a new Prime entry.
Oh God, thank you. Well, I'm going to tell you this right now, live. I will be getting a Switch for that. There will be no
Both of these
questions.
games are in development for the Switch.
There's no question about it.
And both of these games, at least one of them, has been in development for over 3 years.
Crap baskets. That means it's coming out
soonish. This year, next year.
Oh, no.
I'm thinking next year, though, because Mario's coming out this year. And you know how they like to do their...
Yep.
Okay, so Zelda was this year, or like early on this year. So Mario will be... so you have Splatoon in like the summer. Then you have Mario at the end.
They like to keep them about 3 months apart.
Well, they like to
3 to 4
segment
months
them
apart.
into different quarters.
Yeah. Which is okay with me.
Well, because what that does is that makes their quarter sales look really good because then they can spread out the level a little bit. And so the other one, we don't know what it is yet. My hope is that they see how like the retro stuff is becoming more popular, and they will do a proper 2D Metroid game in modern style.
Oh, I would love that. And make it massive.
Well, see, I was thinking that you can do it like in 2.5D, where it can kind of shift a little bit, where you can.
So with that,
not like full 3D, but like you're still on a 2D plane, but everything is in 3D graphics.
Well, then you're talking about they're making another Zero Mission, or not Zero Mission, another. It's right there. I can see it from here. Other M. Other M was a 2D/3 is a 2.5.
I was saying keep it strictly 2D, and then you can like certain areas can cause like when you're exploring, maybe you can maybe the camera will turn maybe not so much as in like Other M, but maybe more in terms of like I'm not trying to say Crash Bandicoot either, but like where like you can move this way and like you can move back and forth. Instead of just this way, you'll be able to do this way, and of course you can go this way, and you can go.
So almost like Turtles.
A little bit, maybe, but I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Something different for them to do with it that wouldn't be just exact norm.
I'm hoping that they don't. At least a top down would be cool, but not for that game.
I'm not saying complete. Like I'm not saying the whole thing would be like that. You would go through
segments.
Yeah, like little segments where you would just differ. from the classic Metroid formula to maybe try and add something to it.
I'm really excited about the new Prime game.
Well, we'll see, because then you can make the new Metroid game, and because it's kind of like how they did Link Between Worlds and how they added the wall thing where you can go into the wall.
Right,
That's
right.
a whole new segment and thought process of that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying like any new sections would like change the game entirely. You're making a newer, older style game. So
Oh my God! I just thought of the greatest way to do this. You were talking, and I thought about Mass Effect, and then I thought about Metroid, and then I thought about what if you could move through planets, like. So the whole basis of Metroid is Metroids and their evolution, and then they were able to control other species. What if you made it to where Mother Brain evolved kind of like Other M, where she's been defeated, the Metroids have been defeated multiple times by humans, so she takes kind of a human-esque form and basically develops a coalition and takes over planets, and kind of like the Scourge, and you have to go through and fight them through. And you could go from planet to planet picking up specific items, so each planet would have a couple upgraded abilities. Obviously, if you've ever played those, they have the missile launcher expansions, blah, 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 missile, blah. Mm-hmm. But think about that, because then you would have space travel. You'd have multiple planets that you could change the environment so it'd be different but the same, Prime style. Because usually when you're in Prime, it's just like, oh, we're going to go to this planet, or you're going to go to this section that's cold. What if you get a whole planet that's cold, that's as big as a Prime planet, but you have 4? Let's just say 4, or a dark one, where each one of the Prime games have a specific theme to them. It's like one's light and dark. The other one's just the original Prime, which is my favorite one. Have it kind of like that, and then have a dark world where everything's dark, and you have to use light weapons to do them. You have to use specific things and move through, and then maybe even have it to where Ridley, your arch nemesis, tears up your ship. You crash land on a planet. You got to rebuild it. I'm just saying.
You mentioned Mass Effect.
I did.
I got Mass Effect news. You mentioned cold. I've got news concerning Mass Effect being cold. The Mass Effect franchise is officially on ice as of yesterday.
Wow.
They are shelving it.
Why? What has happened, my good sir?
Well, Mass Effect Andromeda happened.
It's not a terrible game.
No, it's not a terrible game. I stand by my review. It is at least an 8 to 8.5 game. It is a good game.
Right.
The reaction to the game when it launched, there were problems. It didn't have the sheen and polish. There was a lot of things that were just overlooked in shipping of this game. Where I'm not talking like gameplay wise. I'm talking like just the way, like the people that were complaining about the faces, they were complaining about the eyes, the way stuff that looked. Things that shouldn't have gotten overlooked on a finished polished game.
Okay.
And so I really feel like the blowback for Andromeda is less than the blowback from the ending of 3.
Agreed.
I think it's less than. But the poor scores, I hate to say that because I don't think it's poor.
It's not a poor game.
Well, because most places were giving it like a 7 or a 7.5 or 7.7. And they were like unplayable because we had a whole episode about we had a topic about that where we were like, I went off and like the 7 out of 10 is not unplayable. 7 out of 10 is good.
Yeah, I don't understand where these. Where are they coming up with this crap?
It's like 7 out of 10. Here's 10. Here's 9. Here's 8. Here's 7. Well, here's a whole. Once I start getting to 6, I'm like, well, maybe I should look at this.
7 is it's playable.
It was high 7s.
Yeah, you're talking about let's say 7.5 is it's decent and you almost have to have a niche for it. But when you get below those, like I believe like 6 is kind of unplayable for me personally.
Honestly, it all depends. And then they are ranking the game on release. And now we are 2 months out, and they have patched even more stuff. A big patch came out yesterday. The Montreal studio that made Mass Effect Andromeda has been massively desized now. They are now scaled back to a support studio, and so some of them have been moved on to other projects.
See, this is the thing. It's like they were wanting a Mass Effect 3 purchase on, let's say, a 3-day cycle. Okay, so they wanted a 3-day of, everybody went nuts over Mass Effect 3. We did. A lot of other people did. Everybody loved the game up to the end, which is trivial. You know, it is what it is. The ending, that Mass Effect 3 is the end of the Shepard's story. Like, you shouldn't have this long, drawn-out ending.
They wanted the success that they got from the sales from 2 and 3.
Right.
And because they didn't have a large, massive marketing campaign for 1 or 2.
Right.
2 is that's what made the franchise. 2 is the franchise maker. That is the 10 of the series. Like, bar none. That is the perfect entry for that game series, and that's what made them go, wow.
We got to keep going.
We need to, as well. I mean, they were going to make, from the beginning, they were making a trilogy, but like, this is what made them go, this is not just a game series, this is a franchise.
Yep.
And so then when they released 3, they put a lot of money into marketing. And the game made a lot of money hand over fist because it shipped so many copies. There was backlash to it, but then like they also had the multiplayer and the in-game stuff for the multiplayer. That made a lot of money. And so
the multiplayer it blew us all away.
Of course.
We never expected it, and I was like, I'll start with that. And then I was like, you have to play this.
What they were hoping for is that Andromeda would be the return to form.
Right.
And it wasn't really that. What it is a good starting point to make Mass Effect great again.
Right.
To make BioWare great again. But here's the problem. The Montreal studio never made a game before. Never made an RPG before. Never made an open world game before.
Which we discussed this in the last one.
Yes, they did all that. And from what I can tell, based off of this game that I played and completed, they did a damn good job.
For the first time around.
For first time around, for a studio to be having that much pressure put on them, I feel like they succeeded. Was it a smash hit? No. But they got on base at least. They at least got to second, maybe even third. They tried.
The thing is, though, is that knowing what they know now, if they were to move forward with the same team working on the next entry in Andromeda,
I feel like it would be 10 times better.
I feel like it would be the 2.
It would. I feel like kind of like with some other games, like we discussed. I think it was last week with disappointing titles. How they wanted Watch Dogs to be is what Watch Dogs 2 became.
Right.
You know, and that, I feel like in a lot of sense, it's like when you buy the next Destiny, it's going to be kind of like what they wanted the original one to be.
Yep.
And then the same thing with the Division. They wanted all this stuff for the Division. Well, now they know, and they're going to try to do everything they can to make their second Division what they originally intended. And I really feel like Andromeda 2 would have been what Andromeda 1 was promised or what they wanted it to be. But now that's not happening. There are no plans to go back and make another entry and follow up to Andromeda at this point in time. They have reduced the size of the Montreal studio drastically. A lot of those people have been moved over to Edmonton. That's the team that made 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
That's the team that made KOTOR. That's the team that made Jade Empire. That's the team that made Mass Effect.
I looked for that.
And
Couldn't
then
find it.
What, Jade Empire?
Yeah, I specifically looked for that yesterday.
I've actually seen that. That's not really that expensive anymore.
Nope.
But anyway, that's the team that made the golden era BioWare.
Yep.
And large number of those people are gone. Like a lot of those main staples that people would know name-wise from the Edmonton team are gone. They're working on a brand new IP, and I have news about that.
All right, let's switch gears because we're disappointed. I got a question to stay on the last topic.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does that mean they're not going to be putting out any more support?
No.
No. Let me finish. Like DLC, like actual DLC.
I don't know about actual,
because I know that every month now they're trying to add in like a gun and a new, like they just dropped the Agent it's the
reconnaissance agent. Yeah.
Yeah,
Recon agent.
It's called a Turing agent, is what it is.
Okay.
I told you the wrong name, but it's agent, and then a new gun. It's like it's basically the Geth pulse rifle.
But it's
like 105 rounds. It shoots the same way, but its damage is like 50 at rank 10.
Probably a remnant weapon.
Yeah, it's pretty much just like the Geth pulse rifle.
All right, so there were never any talks at all of doing any story DLC for Mass Effect Andromeda. There is no season pass,
Unfortunate.
So they were leaving it open. I think they were just trying to get the game out. And as of right now, I'm gonna make a prediction and say no. There will be no story DLC. There will still be Mass Effect multiplayer support for the time being.
Right.
That there's probably not going to take a whole lot of resources to manage and update the game for that. So I do imagine at least for a year that's going to be supported.
Right.
As long as the number base stays up.
It's got good numbers now.
Well, I mean, and that's across the 3 platforms that it's on. So I think that the multiplayer is going to be fine. The new IP, which just got the update on the IP, the first thing that they said, delayed until 2019. And that EA is giving them all the time that they need to make this game right. The other part of it disappoints me greatly.
Uh-oh.
And that's because of my personal wants and needs out of a game. What type of game do I not like?
Online.
What kind of game do I not like? Just keep going.
First-person shooter. Very light story driven.
Well, I'm not going to say that here, but you hit the first 2.
I was going to say, those are the first primary.
So far, the news that we have about the new IP is that it's massive online multiplayer, co-op, shooter-based. Ideas from Destiny and Division are being put into this game. How much of a shit do I give about getting online and playing with people? Zero.
Well, but there are a lot of these games that are making it to where you don't have to.
I understand that.
They're
understand
present
that.
in the world, but you still get the full story. But it's fun to play with your friends.
I get it, but Destiny's out, Division is out, and I understand that. Like,
I've never played Division, so I don't know anything about it.
I mean, the thing is that I almost feel like this is becoming like a niche in itself. This is becoming like a new type of genre.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I can say this from personal. MMOs really took off with WoW. WoW changed the world when it comes to gaming because the number base they had, took 7 million players, paying, if you paid a year, roughly $10 a month. That's active accounts.
Yeah, unless you're Jay.
Yeah,
and he
he pays for it and then doesn't play it.
No. Like, well, he does that now. But like back in the day when he worked at Walmart before they had to be activated,
yeah,
he stole a bunch of cards, and he played the game free for like 3 years.
Yeah, but anywho, that really
you don't know who we're talking about.
Yeah, you don't know who we're talking about.
But that's funny as hell.
But yeah, they did that, and that changed, and you saw a lot of MMOs start surfacing. EverQuest came out, I want to say either with or right after. It may have even been before WoW, the first entry of WoW. But you start seeing more and more of these games start coming out, and you've never really seen them on consoles. Now they're starting to blend over into the console world.
Final Fantasy 14.
Final Fantasy 14, which you can play on PC and on console. Mm-hmm. I really wish I would have played it on PC because that's my realm, and it's becoming a new thing. A lot of games you can look at, a lot of upcoming games, and they're really moving that way, or at least a open world hub where you could elect to play with a person and go into your stuff. It's really moving that way because we've got internet now that's 1 gig. We're pushing 1. I can get 1 gig right now with my setup.
Yeah. See, I'm just personally disappointed.
I don't disagree with you.
Okay, so here's my idea. Okay, they announced they are shelving the Mass Effect franchise for now. They didn't say it was dead, and I don't think it is. Because here's the thing. I don't feel like Andromeda was a total massive failure. I think it underperformed. And that is the big number. Here's what I think is going to Here's what I think is going to happen. They're going to do the new IP, and then they're going to reevaluate what's going to happen. What's going to happen next? What do we want to do? And if they're going to make another Mass Effect game, Edmonton's going to make it.
I agree. I bet it will.
The main team is going to make the damn game. And, I mean, because I want to say they have two different teams. Because they have a team for a tour for the Old Republic. That's in Austin. Right. They're off just doing that. That's all they do is tour. And I think they have it. They have it. They have the Edmonton team, and I think they have the Dragon Age team. I think those are two different teams now. And then they made the Montreal team. They made Andromeda.
Right.
Which they made the multiplayer for 3, and they made some DLCs for 3, and
which all were hits.
They're all good, but I mean they never made. They were all based upon the game that Edmonton made, so
right.
Like they were just putting in new stuff. They didn't have to make a whole game from scratch. So I feel like the Mass Effect series is going to get quite the breather. It's going to step back. It's going to be a long time before we get another one. I really feel like. If EA really wants to make their money back off their investment from Andromeda, that they should go ahead and release the remasters for the trilogy. Put them on the PS4 and Xbox One. Not that I necessarily think they need to do it.
You would buy it.
I would.
I would buy it.
But with that being said, there's going to be quite a number of people who didn't like Andromeda. That now that we've gone, we are well into this generation cycle.
Yeah.
That want to have those games again, and have them look beautiful 4K.
Yep.
In 4K. So there is that. Okay. So another news item I have.
Wait, did they ever release the new what the title of
the IP is?
Yeah.
No.
I want to say that it's Dragon Age.
No. The new IP.
Oh, it's a fresh IP.
New fresh IP.
Oh.
Dragon Age. Right now, we don't know anything about what they're doing. If they're doing anything right now.
Just give us another Dragon Age.
They will.
Just like the last one.
But the next entry, the next game out from BioWare will be that new IP.
I want another Dragon Age.
I do too, but we'll get it. So moving on to Kingdom Hearts 3. The game is slated to come out in 2018. They have now it has now been 5 years since the game was announced. It was announced the year that PS4, Xbox One came out, and the guy in charge is Tetsuya Nomura, the guy who he's directing the FF7 remake.
Yes,
and largely a lot of the number of people who are making the FF7 remake are making Kingdom Hearts 3.
Right.
So guess when we're getting FF7 remake. Long ass time.
Hello.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long time.
Hello.
Now, with Kingdom Hearts 3, basically, okay, so Nomura was the guy who was making 15 and was such a perfectionist. That's why that game took so long, because it was start stop refresh, start stop refresh.
Right.
Then they put someone else in charge, and then the game got done.
But it didn't hit the standards.
It didn't hit the standards, and
it didn't hit his standards at all.
And I think that they got the game was in development for over 10 years. But then he gets to a point where he's too much of a perfectionist, I feel, and I think what happened with 15 is that they said we need to get this game out. It needs to go out, and from what I'm understanding, that's their idea behind Kingdom Hearts, and I hope that they're able to keep the standard of Kingdom Hearts. The standard of Kingdom Hearts is different from FF,
right?
But
it's much. That game reminds me a lot of Tales. It's the Tales style.
Okay.
Gameplay.
Now, see, the Kingdom Hearts story does span multiple systems, multiple games.
Yes.
The main story is 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
But there's background, side stuff, this, that, and before that, and the other, and in between stuff. And you can get a full list, a comprehensive list over everything that entails online. A lot of those stuff are now available on the PS4 between the Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 remaster releases, and then the Kingdom Hearts 2.5 or 2.8 release that got released this year.
We have to move the table back that way.
What happened?
I gotta pee.
Oh, of course.
I'm breaking it. I owe you a beer.
Wow. I
can't take it anymore.
Is that why you were fidgeting?
Yep.
That's why you were fidgeting.
That's why I was fidgeting.
Man, I tell you, it's a good thing that we are not a really high-grade professional grade podcast.
Why? It adds character.
You're right. It does add character. You know what? I played in a band quite some time ago, and we played with this band, and we were helping them pack up. We were, we were the fresh young start band, right? And we were watching these guys, and so what we ended up doing was helping these guys pack up, and the dude put his guitar in. He just had like a gig bag, right? He didn't even have a case, and he accidentally stepped on it, and we heard a crunch, and everybody stopped, and we watched him. We're like, uh-oh. And this guy had had a few drinks, and then he stops what he's doing, realizes he just stepped on his own guitar, and then he starts stepping on it, back and forth, and we're like, he goes, adds character. So that definitely became a tagline for the band. Anytime that we would nick something, anytime that we would mess something up or like cause damage to our equipment, damage has already been done. The accident's already happened. Adds character.
Adds character. All right, I'm empty.
All right, so Assassin's Creed news is out.
Oh.
The new entry is supposedly called Assassin's Creed Origins. It's going to the very, very, very beginning of the formation
of the
Assassins. And it takes, so far, the original rumors and these rumors, and I guess these have been confirmed. Again, I've watched videos and I have heard stuff. So take this with a grain of salt. It takes place in ancient Egypt.
Wow. That's a long time.
That's a long time ago.
That's a long time.
And you get boats, and you'll be able to sail to Greece.
That'd be cool.
So they're looking at some form of naval combat to be in it. Maybe not as comprehensive as like Black Flag because it's going to be different.
You'll see a lot of like catapults sitting on there and some arrows.
But yeah, there was no Assassin's Creed game last year, and they have said they will not release another one until they feel one is up to par. But they had such a way of releasing these games where they were, next year, just like wish-wash. It's like, here, new assassin, new backstory, further it, another setting, new assassin, new backstory, go. Because after 3 was when they sort of hit the pause button on the modern day story that was going on because you had the old story and you had the modern day story.
Right, which I like that.
I liked it too, and then that has changed entirely since they killed off Desmond. And I hated that. But then 4 was amazing.
Right.
The pirate stuff was awesome.
It was.
And then after that, they did Unity, and then they did Rogue, which Rogue was only on. I still haven't played Rogue, but from what I understand, Rogue is basically like, hey, let's take everything from Black Flag and then make a new game out of it. Right. So the game's gonna play fine, but it's gonna end up being like the Batman Arkham Origins, where it's like new story, old game.
Right.
Which is fine by me. I'm okay with it as long as the game plays fine.
I would be picking that one up. I haven't played the last few.
Well, here's the thing: is that the last few, I just looked at them at GameStop and they're under $10.
I might end up picking them up.
Unity, I looked at Unity and see they patched Unity completely. It's completely playable now, which is unlike what it was when it came out. And Syndicate, I didn't hear a dang thing good or bad about Syndicate, so it has to be a decent game.
It was from what I understand, it was paused.
It was good, but then at the same time, it's like people were getting fatigue on it. They were like, another Assassin's Creed, okay.
I mean, really, when they were pounding out the Ezio trilogy, like that was, they did good. That was boom, 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 and you're like, oh, this game's amazing. I can't wait for the next one. And boom, you got one the next year. You're like, oh my god, this one's amazing. I can't wait for the next one. You're like, this one's really good. They're really playing it for the story at this point because the hook blade was cool. Some of the stuff was cool, but some of the new features they added wasn't that good. I would have just liked to have more missions. like main story missions, like from the Da Vinci missions from
Mm-hmm.
Brotherhood.
Yeah.
I love those.
So yeah, that there's that, and then I have another tidbit about Far Cry, the next Far Cry game.
Primal 2.
No,
Damn it.
no, not at all. This might be Far Cry 5. Might be. We don't know. But we might know the theme of it. Supposedly releasing this year, because Primal is not a main entry game, and it was like a side thing. It was like, let's take the Far Cry gameplay and put it somewhere else.
And that is still $42.
Far Cry 5, quote unquote, a Western. Supposedly coming out this year, and in the fall, right next to Red Dead Redemption 2, another Western.
I don't know about that.
Here's the thing. Far Cry are good games. Rockstar has a habit of making great games. Not just good games, great games.
Right.
And here's the thing is that universally, I haven't heard too many people say to the contrary, but Fallout, Far Cry 3 is the epitome of the series. Best entry so far.
Okay.
Far Cry 4, as good as 3, but it wasn't 3.
Right.
So therefore, instantly you're like, they hit the same part of quality. It's just more.
Right.
So there's definitely not people saying it's bad, but they're saying, well, it didn't have the magic of 3. And then Primal was something completely different.
And it had a lot of magic. I enjoyed it.
It hit a lot of strides of people, but then it was for some people it was such a left turn that people didn't like it because they're used to they're used to the combat, the driving, and that kind of stuff.
Right.
The open world exploration, first person exploration. Then you're looking at if you're gonna make a Western, that's fine. I don't care about what it is, but if you're gonna release it too close to Red Dead, which the last Red Dead came out in like 2010.
Right.
They've been like sitting on this game for a long time. Not that they've been making it, because they don't do that.
Right.
They slowly make their game until it's ready. Like, very rarely do you catch Rockstar off point.
Right.
With anything. You could argue that 4 was kind of that. There were some reasons why.
Right.
But look at what they did with 5.
Yeah.
That was a damn near perfect game for driving, shooting, anything you could do in that game. It was all done to a level of quality. And you think they're not going to bring that same quality that they learned from that? Because they wouldn't have had GTA 5 without making Max Payne, without making Red Dead,
right?
Where they took all this gun, because that's something that GTA 4 was lacking, was the gunplay. They learned that, and they brought that system, brought that over to GTA.
Yep.
Do you not think they're going to take what they learned with GTA 5 and bring that to Red Dead?
Yeah, they're going to.
So of course, to take that, it's going to be very interesting because there have been some people thinking that them deciding to do a Western theme and release it this year would be kind of like them doing an EA what they did with Titanfall. Titanfall 2. Again, hey, was what they wanted Titanfall 1 to be.
Right.
Kind of. It had a story mode. It had multiplayer. It had decent gameplay for what that gameplay is.
Right.
Not my favorite, not my cup of tea, but from what I understand, if you play Titanfall 2, wow, okay, yes, this is what we wanted. It was released on both systems, not just the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2, day one, sold less copies than the launch of Titanfall 1 on just one system. But it was sandwiched in between Call of Duty and Battlefield.
Yeah. So
it got ate up. And
you can't do that. These people need to understand that Call of Duty isn't what it was. You know, before they were blowing out sales right out the get-go. But Battlefield, that's the one that everybody was like, all right, this is fucking sweet.
Battlefield totally won.
Yeah.
They won it this year, and there's not going to be another Battlefield this year because there's going to be a Battlefront this year.
Right.
Star Wars. And there will be a new Call of Duty, and they're going to take full advantage of the people who liked Battlefield 1, with Call of Duty World War II, which GameStop is promoting like furious rage right now because when I was in there, every time they answered the phone, did you hear them? Hey, you can trade all your games towards getting a copy of Call of Duty World War II. Hi, this is Matt from GameStop. How can I help you? They have to say the full plug first.
Question. When you went in there, did he inform you about the new bundles for the new Switch? The Switch?
No.
So when I went in there, first thing he said was, hey, you got a Switch yet? I'm like, nope. He goes, you want one? I was like, well, yeah. It's like, okay, here's a bundle. $480.
Ouch.
System.
$300.
Mario Kart 8.
60.
Zelda.
60.
And then some other third-party game.
Well, there's not much out for it. Lego City Undercover's out for it.
No,
Binding of Isaac is out.
Like, I can't. I'd have to look it up, but $480. But it comes with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
If it came with a controller, because I'm trying to think like.
I'll have to let me
because
look it up.
that's just those 3 games on top of that one. That's only 120.
Right.
Well, no, that'd be 100 and. That's actually like normal price, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Yeah, 300 and plus 120. That's 2 games, so that's 420 plus another game. Hey, that's 480.
Yeah.
How's that even a bundle? That like you could go
and
there.
2 of them were digital. You only get one hard game.
Oh fuck that! I'm not doing that.
I know.
I don't like digital. I don't like pre-installed stuff. Like for example, I was looking specifically at GameStop for a hard copy of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Do I give a shit about that game? No. But I have the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare system because I like the way the system looks. So I have a digital copy of the game. I want a physical copy of the game, and it was under, I think it was like $10 or maybe less. So I might actually be picking that up soon just so I could slotch that game onto my damn collection.
Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah. I'm all ready for this.
Okay, so we have
Shovel
Knight, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Zelda, and I don't know what that one is.
Oh, I saw that game in there. It's something Heroes.
Let's see if I can find it. And it comes with
Has Been Heroes.
It also comes with 2 racing wheels, Switch racing wheels,
okay.
a SanDisk 64 gigabyte SanDisk, yeah.
64 gig?
Yeah, and then Snipper Clips.
Snipper Clips.
That's
a game.
Shovel Knight, Treasure Trove. So you get Treasure Trove, Shovel Knight, Snipper Clips, Has Been Heroes, 2 of the racing wheels, Mario Kart 8, Zelda for $479.99.
That's not as bad.
And then they have another one that's very similar to that. And it just doesn't have... Let's see if I can see it.
The Journey in a Comics chat group is like, they're deciding to have a little chit-chat.
So this other one, that one I told you was the Digital Deluxe bundle. Okay. Then you have the Zelda Digital Game Bundle. That includes a console. Zelda Breath of the Wild Digital Game. Breath of the Wild Expansion Pass. Mario Kart Deluxe.
Mario Kart
Deluxe. Has Been Heroes. Shovel Knight. All digital. Yeah. Next one. Mario Kart Wheel, the digital bundle.
Why is everything freaking digital?
That's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's the way of the future, I know. Shut up.
So it comes with Zelda and digital bundle at GameStop includes Nintendo Switch console. It's the red and blue one. Joy-Cons.
The neon.
Comes with Breath of the Wild physical game. A SanDisk, 64 gigabyte.
You're scanning your discs?
The expansion pass for Breath of the Wild. Has Been Heroes. Snipper Clips. Shovel Knight. Treasure Trove. So everything but. Yeah, that was the Zelda bundle. And then the one before that was the Deluxe. Then the first one I said was the Mario Kart. So basically every one of these is coming with Zelda.
Yeah. Well, of course.
Yeah.
I'll get it later.
It's not a terrible deal.
No.
But it's digital.
It's all digital.
Everything's digital.
Yeah, that's a problem. I'm trying to think if there was another news thing that I had.
I had a news thing. That was my news thing.
I don't think I had one.
We can move right into the meat.
Which
is not the meat.
I think we're going to move into some of our bad games. Now, you made a list, and I see a name on there, and if that's the game that I think that you're talking about, you're fucking crazy.
I know, I told you.
You're absolutely fucking crazy. You're on something, and I want some because it's good.
I knew that you was going to have a problem with that one game, and I said that you're going to have a problem with that one game, so that's the last one I'm saying.
The first one I'm going to say, I got this at Goodwill. So this is back when I was going to Goodwill on a regular basis, and if I found games that were like out of the blue, because you find a lot of sports games, a lot of your typical run-of-the-mill games that are like that everybody owned.
Right.
But this is Independence Day in a really kind of crappy jewel case that I haven't bothered replacing. Independence Day on the PS1.
It's a terrible game.
Oh my god, it's so bad. This is you're in like a F, whatever was it, F-18.
Yeah.
Fly over 10 of the hottest fighter planes from 1995, 1997. Dude, and basically you dogfight, and the controls are terrible. Think about this. If this game came out in 97, okay? Star Fox 64 was not far around this.
Right.
And that game is way better playing. Like, okay, the graphics aren't as good, I guess, but the gameplay on that is so much better.
Right.
Especially for your all-range mode thing where you're flying around. That's kind of all this game is. God, this game sucks. However, this is one of the games on the PS1 where you can link the consoles together.
Right.
And have two-player action on your own TV. Terrible.
Okay, so universally, we like fighters in the Super Nintendo era. I like them, like some of Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
Those were really hit. So this specific one came out, and it's terrible. Shaq Fu.
Shaq Fu's pretty bad.
It's really bad, but I played the crap out of it as a kid because I didn't really have anything else to play at a specific time. And it was one of those games because I was going to the Boys and Girls Club. Mm-hmm. You could play with somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, you got double the time, and you both could get a game. So a lot of times when somebody would get Shaq Fu, you play with him, and they're like, I don't like this game, and they walk away. You got to have the full hour to yourself, or 40 minutes to yourself. It's terrible. But, yeah, terrible game.
Speaking of fighters, I bought this because I liked the Super Nintendo version, thinking that, this is just the same game. No.
You were wrong.
Very wrong. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for the Genesis. I bought this thinking that this is just a Genesis version of the Super Nintendo side-scroller beat-em-up, which is a good side-scroller beat-em-up. It's one of my favorites. Pretty basic, but I like the Power Rangers. I liked them back then. A lot of fun. This is a fight 'em game where you pick your guy and you stand side by side and you got life bars, and it's so bad. It's terrible. It is. I beat this game within 15 minutes, maybe. It is just there is no flow to it. It is just very slow and methodical, and doesn't deserve a place in gaming history.
Wow.
It doesn't.
Man, that's a firm statement there, sir.
Some of these other ones also belong on the this never should have even been made. This is a cash in.
I see one specifically that I know, and it's right here for GameCube, and it's terrible. So mine is Nightmare on Elm Street for NES. To this day, I still have no idea what I was doing in that game. I remember playing it and just, I don't know what to do. And it's like, here he comes. And you're like, what do I do? You pick up a rock. You throw it at him. It's a dream. Does nothing. So you just run the entire game. I don't know how to catch him. I don't even know if you pick up weapons other than rocks. and hide. That's the whole game. I hid. So terrible.
I got this game for Christmas. And this is 007, Tomorrow Never Dies. This is a third-person action shooter. Coming off the heels of GoldenEye.
Yeah.
And this is nowhere near GoldenEye. This was put out by EA. And even as a third person, okay, I was thinking, oh, wow, maybe this will be like Siphon Filter. But Siphon Filter's not a great action shooter. It's good in some aspects.
Right.
It doesn't age well.
No.
But for the time, it was pretty good. This isn't even that. This is a cash-in, and it's very stiff. I tried playing it not too long ago. Very bad. Very much.
That would be on my list, but since you had it, I removed it.
Very much bad.
And I own it for one of the systems, so there. Last Action Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's a terrible game.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
There's side-scroller beat 'em up. Horrible. Like, to the point where I never made it past the first level, and I was done. We bought it at a yard sale, me and my cousin, thinking, another Super Nintendo game to play. That's where we got a lot of our games then. Played it. Terrible.
I almost put Home Alone 2 on this list.
Oh, that's another bad one.
But that was like the second game I ever owned, and I played the crap out of it. But I just didn't understand a lot of what was happening to him. Like, there's this crazy-ass hotel where like your baggage is moving by itself and jumping up and down, and like the mop lady's trying to hit you, and like this big guy and he's got an English bowler hat on, and then when he gets you, he grabs you by your legs and shakes you upside down. I'm like, what is going on in this place? This isn't anything like the movie. Continuing on the PS1, Bubsy 3D.
Oh, yeah.
Really, I don't know if I have to say anything else. This is Bubsy 3D.
Yeah.
This is bad.
It's bad.
This is bad, okay? I do like some of the stuff that's said on the back here. From PS Extreme. Underwater-based levels, very reminiscent of Mario 64.
Really?
Okay. Massive environment. Go anywhere. I doubt it. Gameplay with an amazing depth gives Bubsy an entirely new perspective. Establishing a new standard in the platform genre from Next Generation. There's no way.
Nope.
No way.
Nope.
This was an era of Mario 64.
Yeah.
That is a standard bearer of a 3D action platformer.
At the time, yes.
And then you have stuff like Crash Bandicoot that came out. And you had stuff like Spyro the Dragon that came out.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, no. Absolutely not. Get out of here.
All right. Batman Forever.
You chose this instead of Batman and Robin.
Yes. Batman and Robin is horrible.
It is bad.
But Batman Forever was a terrible game.
It is bad. They went with that photorealism crap.
Yes.
That was really hot at the time, where like Mortal Kombat started that. And dude, I didn't know what did you ever get in that problem where you had to go up and you couldn't figure out how to go up?
Yep.
And you would sit there for hours trying to figure out how to go up, and it was some stupid crap where you had to just hit two buttons at the same time, and all of a sudden you got it, and all of a sudden you're like, how did I do that?
Yep. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Batman Forever sucks.
Terrible game.
Okay.
I didn't want to keep putting all the Batmans on here. That's why I only chose one.
Batman Returns is awesome.
I never said
that's on a Super Nintendo. It's a side-scroller beat 'em up, and it is amazing. I love that game.
You got like Batman and Robin, which is terrible, and a game that you have there.
Yeah. Okay. So the next two I have that round up my PS1, because there's a lot of crap on the PS1.
Right.
And honestly, here's the thing: is that, for me, buying games most of the time, I try not to buy bad games. This was an accident. Okay. Independence Day, I knew it was bad when I bought it. I'm like, this is not a good game.
Right.
I just knew it wasn't going to be. Okay. Got this as a gift. Can't help that. This was inherited. I got this as a donation. And it was in a group of games from Aaron at work.
Right.
So these next two I sought out. Because I played Beast Wars on PS1 as a kid. And I liked it as a kid. It doesn't age well. It's bad.
It is bad.
It is bad. And but it still has a charm. Okay?
Right.
There's a charm here. It tries to be this third-person action game, and it is. Not a good one by any means, but it is pretty cool. Its sequel, Beast Wars Transmetals, is not. It is a one-on-one fighting game. A 3D plane fighting game is not good.
No.
This is also out for the N64. That one is more rare because that is Blockbuster exclusive.
Right.
So to find one with a box, which I've only seen once, is expansive. And I actually found this first. I found this at our Disc Replay.
Yes, I remember that.
And then I got this up north. And this is the one I was going to get no matter what, because here's the thing, if it's going to go in my collection, it's going to be something I played as a kid.
Right.
And have some sort of fondness for, even if it's bad, that's fine. But like, I played this and rented this. This I rented and went, wow, this is kind of cool. This I rented and went, this is, as a kid, I thought this is bad.
This is bad.
And so, like, I saw this and I bought it for the hell of it because I knew I was going to get the first one, so I had to get the second one. But man,
there's a lot. There's a lot of games on the PlayStation. There's a lot. There are a lot of good ones.
Well, especially that was the generation where they were exploring the new 3D.
They're exploring a lot.
And so there's a lot of just generic badness.
Yes. So my next one is Knights.
Fuck you.
I hate this game.
Knights what?
The first one is whatever the first one is. I just remember Knights
what
for
Knights?
Dreamcast.
Oh, Knights into Dreams?
No. For the Sega exclusive Knights.
Okay, yeah.
Lunar Knights,
okay.
I believe is what it is.
Stop. Okay, because you're
the one that you fly through the rings. That's the whole game.
Knights. Okay, so the one on Saturn is Knights into Dreams.
Knights into Dreams.
Okay, and then Knights Dreamcast. Let's type that. Because I want to say there was one for the Dreamcast, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was one for. Maybe it's just the Saturn. I just remember
there was one for the Wii too. The one for the Saturn, Knights into Dreams. That's where they had the 3D controller. And you had to like fly around into the rings. Okay, here's the thing. I thought that Knights was a different game that you were putting down. I actually agree with you. I don't like Knights.
It's a terrible game.
It's not a very good game. I thought you were putting Knights of the Old Republic.
Why would I ever do that?
I don't know, because I was about to smack the fuck out of you. Because I'm like, I understand the gameplay.
That would be KOTOR.
Okay. So the gameplay in KOTOR is not the greatest, and it's not even the most polished. God damn, that game is so good. I was like looking at like
there was a
it was what game do I like? Which one do I disagree with? You know what? I'm not going to disagree with you, but I will kind of.
Right.
I can argue for it.
So you thought that one?
I thought that one, and I was getting hot.
I always thought it was just Knights, like.
It is called Knights, yes. It's Knights into Dreams, and then the one on Wii is called something.
Right.
I think there was one. God.
I thought there was just one that was called Knights. That was the first entry.
No, because the first one was Knights into Dreams.
Okay.
But it was Knights into Dreams.
Right.
So
it was.
I get you.
I hate that game.
I get you.
We played that, and I was just like, this is dumb. Like, what else do you do in this game?
Another game I inherited. I sold my 64 to a guy at work, who then I sold my 64 and all my games to a guy at work. And then he got some more games from another guy at work. And then he sold that system back to me with all the rest of the games for the same price that I sold to him for.
Cha-ching.
So I got some extra games. One of those extra games is called Dual Heroes. It's a fighting game.
Huh.
It's a piece of shit. This game goes on this stack with Power Rangers as if never should have been made. It is god awful. Me, Silent Rob, who's been on this podcast, and Wes, who has not been on this podcast proper. He has been on Journey to Comics when we would do Brando casts, which was like this show. And what this show turned into, where we talk video games. We played this, and we were just taking turns laughing. And then we went from this and went on and played some X-Men Legends, and we're like, this is great.
Right.
But
X-Men
this game
Legends
is
amazing.
this horrible, completely horrible fighting game. Never should have been made.
All right.
Dual Hero 64.
Never buy it.
No, don't, please.
The Rocketeer for NES.
Was it NES or SNES? I want to say it was SNES.
I want to say it was NES, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Because I remember the game. I think I rented it. Oh crap! I typed in Rocketeer and then I just hit Google. SNES. Okay, yeah. There's one for SNES. Is there one for NES? There is one for NES.
Say this one right here. This is the one I'm talking about. That one.
Okay, I played the second. I played the Super Nintendo. I didn't play this one.
This is the one.
Okay, so no, I didn't play that one. I did play the.
This is the one.
Because I want to say the SNES one is like not that. It is.
It's terrible.
Let's type in SNES and I'll see pictures of it and show you. Yeah, this is the SNES where you're flying.
Right.
It looks like it is just a flying game.
Yeah.
It still looks like crap.
No,
but
the Rocketeer
on the NES.
On the NES
is a piece of shit.
It was almost like they were trying to make Mega Man.
Or like Batman.
Batman style.
Well, because it looks like Batman NES a little bit.
Right. And you can fly a little bit, but only to certain degrees.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Not very much. But I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Terrible game.
I've got one here. NES.
This I agree with 100%. It was on my list until I saw it.
I got this in a bundle. Hey, I got the manual for it. Top Gun. NES. Wow.
Bad.
If anybody has ever seen the Angry Video Game Nerd, he did an episode on this where he can't land the damn plane.
Yeah.
You know why? Because nobody can. I mean, I'm sure you can, but it's so stupid. If you've never seen that, go watch the Angry Video Game Nerd reviews Top Gun, because there's not much else that I can say about it. To be honest with you, it is just I tried playing it when I bought it, and because I got it in a group, I got it in a bundle, didn't ask for it, it was there, and I want to say I've had 2 copies because I sold one.
Right.
So yeah, Top Gun.
So, this is a newer game.
Mm-hmm.
This is from the last generation.
PS4 or PS3, Xbox 360.
Yep. So I bought this game very excited because I love the franchise. I love all the... Now there's... I just want to make this very perfectly clear before I name this. I felt like I was back in the world, but the controls of this game, I couldn't do it. Yeah. I had to turn it in. That's how bad it was.
Okay.
Like I wanted to play the game, so I just watched somebody play it. And that's how I got all the quips. Duke Nukem forever. I love Duke Nukem. I played crap out of Duke Nukems. I loved them as kids. I was multiple kids as a kid. So I got this when they released it. I bought it for $60.
Oh wow.
And I believe I came into you the next day and said, I hate it. And you're like, I played it and I like it. You know, it's all right. Eventually, you played it. Man, I could not stand the controls. It was bad.
It's Duke Nukem. I mean, that's all I can say about it is that it's Duke Nukem. That is my positive. Is that it's Duke Nukem. It's not anything more or anything less. It is just Duke Nukem.
Right.
And people for the weight of this game, for was it 10-year waiting?
Yes.
Period, you know, it was supposed to knock your socks off, and it was Duke Nukem. And when I bought it, it was at GameStop, and I got it cheap.
Yeah.
Got it for $1 something, and it's the best $1 something I ever spent because I had fun. I went into this not expecting a full on like the modern generation controls. I went in there just hoping for Duke Nukem, and that's what I got. And if you paid $60 for it, you definitely paid too much for it.
Yeah.
But like, I would say if you find it for $10, that's in my opinion. If you want Duke Nukem, $10 is a good price. If you're wanting to just throw away some money and have a good, fun, crappy shooter, you can go less than that.
Right.
The next, I have 2 more.
I have one to add to that. I own it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, but I'm not getting up for it.
Okay. I bought this on purpose. I bought this. I want to say I got this on my big splurge, and you went with me with. And I got this downtown Lafayette.
Yes.
Snake's Revenge on the NES. This is the sequel to Metal Gear. This is Metal Gear 2, not really.
Right.
Because what is this? This is published by Ultra, which is the second Konami.
Right.
This is their second company because NES said you can only make 5 games a year. Konami's like, screw you. We're making more than that. We're making a second sort of face company just to release games. And Metal Gear 1 had been released originally on the MSX in Japan computer, and then on the NES in America. And then Konami, either America or Konami Japan, made it for America. This game. Kojima had nothing to do with this. He didn't even know it existed. Do you know how he knew about it? Some guy walked up to him in like an elevator or something. Said, "Hey, congratulations." He's like, "Thanks, before." He's like, "Oh, on your new game that you got released. You guys, I didn't know that you made another Metal Gear." He goes, "I didn't." And he goes, "But it just came out. The Snake's Revenge." And he goes, "What is that?" That's how he learned about it. And he was mad. He was like, and then he saw it and went, "This is rubbish."
Yeah.
And so this game is what prompted him to make Metal Gear 2 on the MSX2 computer, and why the Metal Gear series continued.
So, it's a terrible game.
Yeah, it's bad.
But it's a great game.
Because
it spawned the continuation.
This eventually led us to Metal Gear Solid.
Right.
And that greatness. And Metal Gear Solid 2, and then 3, and then that greatness, and then 4, and the abysmal 5. But come on, you have, 5 is would be your trophy with some shit on it. And then, but then you have 1 and 3, which are just masterpieces as far as gaming. So if you have one more, go ahead.
Jurassic Park.
Which one, though?
The first one.
The OG, what's
I have it for Super.
Oh, you have? Oh, okay, so that one.
Yes.
I remember playing one of them for the Genesis, where you could either be the dude or be the dinosaur. I don't remember which one that was.
I don't remember that one. That must have been the second one. This one, they just start you off in the middle of the camp and say, go.
Go.
You don't even know what's going on, and you got to pick up weapons, and yeah, it's not good. I tried to play it the other day. I actually tried to play it before I was unable to play on my television, and I hated it.
I bought this game. This one, it was an accident.
This one was an accident.
This was an accident.
And this is ranked as one of the worst games of all time.
I didn't know. I did do my research. I thought, it's Batman. It's called Batman Dark Tomorrow.
This goes in this pile.
Never should have been made.
Never should have been made.
I got the manual.
I got the manual.
And Hell, Angel, maybe Angle, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like it either because he sold it.
You're right.
It says it comes with a limited edition comic inside. It does not, buddy. This, in my collecting days, this is my first disappointment. This is my first I've been had. And because I know, and see, I was like, I got to take this back.
But you never did.
No, I didn't. And now I'm just going to keep it because it's so bad. Because you have to enjoy how bad this game is. This game is worse than anything on that list. I guarantee you.
I don't disagree with you.
This game is awful. I don't know how to get off the rooftop. When you start the game, he's on the roof. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to move across the rooftops without dying. I jump off the roof and I die. There's a full game in this. Somehow. It doesn't tell you how to get over there. I'm like, I can't. You can't glide.
You can't glide.
No. You jump and his jump is like, oh, I'm obscuring my hands. It's like, you're like, okay, so I'm gonna recreate it here. I'm gonna make a rooftop.
He's on a rooftop.
All right, so
and that's the other rooftop you're trying to get
to. So your first one. Okay, over there. Then your next one, a little bit further away. You're like, I can't make that. I know I can't. Maybe if I try to use an item. Okay, nothing's working. Okay, well maybe I'm supposed to go. Oh, maybe I glide. No, okay, I'm dead. Okay, so maybe if I'm... Well, I'm not supposed to jump down because obviously he dies.
Is it like instantly dead?
Yeah, you're just like, whew, and dead. I don't know what to do. The game is so bad. It's not intuitive at all. And it has a... Like, okay, so the appearance of him is kind of like 1970s-ish, where he has like the blue mask and like the big yellow, like right. emblem. Now let's look at all the villains and all the characters in this game. We have Batman. We have Oracle. Black Mask, Killer Croc, the Ratcheter, or the Rat Catcher.
Yeah.
My bad. Scarface and the Ventriloquist. Mr. Zsasz, the Joker, Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy. Of course, more foes lurk outside Gotham City. But then, yeah.
So do you travel outside Gotham City?
I never made it that far.
And this plummeting to your death from the beginning game?
Dude, you can't. You can't do anything in this game. The dude that played the flute, his name is David Butt. His name is David Butt. David Butt. These have to be pseudonyms. They didn't even want their names on this damn game. I guarantee you, because so the guy that played the basses, his name is Gareth Wood, and there's David Butt. Then Piccolo, Julian Coward.
Piccolo.
The Piccolo, like the little.
Oh! I thought you meant like his name was Piccolo Julian Coward. I was like, wow.
No. Wow. And then you have, like, on tuba, Owen Slade.
Maybe these are real people. Maybe they thought this was going to be a hit.
No. No. And the voiceovers are not by anybody we've ever heard of. We have Ellen and Lowe, Ralph Byers, Nachi Castro, Dean Elliott, Cynthia Farrell, Richard Ferrone.
Wow.
This one's the one I'm going to botch. Danny Mastro Giorgio.
Huh.
Yeah. So, anybody who you've ever heard voice Batman is not in this damn game. They don't want
any of the characters.
No, none of them. Absolutely nobody. God, it's so bad.
Terrible.
This game, actually, the GameCube version rates 1 iota higher than the Xbox version. Don't know why.
Better graphics.
Maybe. I don't know. God.
Better gameplay.
Never should have been made.
Of plummeting to your death from the second building.
You have a cube?
I do have a
cube.
You're
borrowing it and you're playing it.
Okay. This replay did have 2 wakebirds when I was there.
They did. Yeah, I just saw them.
I was sitting there going.
They were right next to the top loader.
I stopped and I looked at it and I looked around and I was like.
Sitting there biting your lip.
I really want one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I really want both of those.
Yeah.
But I know that I cannot justify buying them when I already own one.
My Wavebird has been kind of acting up lately.
Now, having a second one for 2 players, that I could justify. But having a third one and not having any games that take 3 players? Now, once I get a copy of Double Dash, I will be getting 4 controllers. Hands down.
Yeah.
But no. Oh, and my sister does have my GameCube. Only game she has left is Sunshine.
You just bought that?
I just bought that.
That sucks, dude.
She's like, I don't know where the rest of the games went.
Of course you don't. Shake fist. Well, I think it's going to do that. This is going to do it for us today on the show. Because I've got nothing else other than, we just talked about some bad games. Oh! Get that away from your pickups.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give that to you, but I mean, that'd be hilarious if he just ended up with it and I never got it back. I wouldn't lose any sleep. I have been playing Persona. As of last time that we talked, I'd only played like an hour. I'm now 10 hours in. I like it a lot.
Really?
I'm liking it a lot. It is different than Persona 4 to an extent. It's still Persona.
Right.
But there's a whole different mindset to it. Like, for example, in Persona 4, your dungeons are like 10 floors of big hallways.
Right.
And this, so far, the first dungeon, I'm still in the first dungeon. It is actually set up like a castle. Like the first dungeon is a castle on the outside, and you go inside, and it is set up just like a castle. And you can press X to jump to like walls and like tables and stuff to hide from enemies. And then when they get in range, you can press X to ambush them and take their mask off, and that will expose their true self, which is like their shadow. And then you can ambush that way. And then the combat. Was that a sneeze?
I was sneezing.
Okay, bless you.
Thank you. You know, allergy season's in.
Yeah. You can combat's pretty much the same, almost exactly the same, except.
So on the ambushing, does it give you a bonus on? Like, do you get a turn, two free turns?
Ambushing gets everybody an attack in first.
Okay.
And then like if you just hit them before they hit you, that gets you like maybe a turn or two in first.
Right.
But ambush will give you like the entire cast gets a full turn in.
Ooh, that's good.
There are now safe rooms inside the dungeon where no shadows can get to you, and when you get a safe room, that gives you a fast travel point. So if you decide to leave and come back, you don't have to start it over from the beginning.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Because that was one of your major complaints in 4.
Yeah. Once you started, you were in there.
Yeah.
And when you left, you went back to the beginning.
Right.
So now it's like, okay, so I got to a certain point in the first dungeon, and it's early, so I don't have a whole lot of money. I can if I want to upgrade stuff, I don't have enough stuff to. I have found nothing so far that will replenish my SP, which is your MP.
Right.
So I'm out. I still haven't fought the boss yet, and I still have a little ways to go till I get there.
Right.
So I got to a safe room, and I'm like, I'm leaving. And then I've been out of the dungeon for a couple days now, just doing some stuff. I bought some new weapons, because when I went in there, I had like 300 yen, and I now have like 8,000. So I went and bought a few things to help out. Maybe I think I bought like a weapon or two, and just to help out with my damage output. That way I can get these enemies done quicker.
Right.
And so from that point, when I go back, I'll be able to go back to that last room that I was in,
right,
and start from there, 100% freshed up. So far, my favorite part of the game so far has been I got the cat, Morgana, and I now take care of that cat on the outside world, because he or she, I don't know if it's a he or she, I think it might be a he.
With the name Morgana?
I know, that's what I thought. But, hey, whatever. I was thinking that it was probably a girl, but on the outside world, it looks just like a cat.
Right.
And you and your friends can hear and understand what Morgana's saying. Everybody else hears a meowing cat.
Right.
Which is hilarious to me. And multiple times, like you'll be in class and the cat's like hiding underneath your desk and he's talking to you. The teacher's like, "I swear I heard a cat. Who has a cat?" And so the cat needs a place to stay, so you take care of the cat. You bring it home, and you're staying with the dude who is running a cafe. And basically, your character got in trouble for protecting a girl from sexual assault from a high-standing politician.
Huh.
And then you attacked the guy, so then you got sued, pinned with a criminal record, got expelled from your school.
Wow.
Yeah, your character gets screwed over before the game even starts. So now everybody sees you as like a troublemaker.
Right.
You get accepted to this other school, but you had to move to a different city, and this guy is taking you in. But like he's working with the government. He's volunteered to take you in. He's kind of a dick to you. Basically, just keeps telling you stay out of trouble. Remember, it's your last shot.
Right.
Grumbly old man. So you bring home a cat, and then he walks upstairs and he's like, "Hey, what is this? This is a restaurant. Absolutely no animals." He goes, "What'd you bring that thing back here for anyway?" And you have a choice of 3. And I said, "It was abandoned." He goes, "Oh, that's sad. Well, I guess if you do have one, it might help you stay out of trouble. Fine, you can keep the cat. But if it wanders downstairs, I'm throwing it out. And you've got to take care of it. I'm not going to be doing that." And he walks away. And she goes, "Sheesh," And then you guys start talking a little bit. And finally he comes back with a plate of food and goes, Thing just had to keep meowing so cute, didn't it? It was fine. Take this. And he puts the plate of food back like down on the bed for it to eat. And he goes, by the way, have you thought of a name?
And that's where he...
And he's like, and the character kind of does that and goes, well, Morgana, huh? Well, I was hoping I was going to get to name it. Anyway, cat's on you. And he walks away. And then the cat goes, huh, seems like the guy likes me more than he likes you. And he's being such a hard ass about this cat. And he's like, has a soft spot for it.
Right.
That made me laugh. And so far, I'm really digging the story. As with any story or with any Persona, it's a slow burn game. Yep. So while there's a lot of story happening at the very beginning, I know it's going to slow down big time, and it's going to be more about you just spending time with your friends and doing stuff. So unfortunately, with doing the podcast today, I'm not going to get to play too much tonight, if at all.
Right.
But and then my mom's coming over for the weekend, but I get a 5-day weekend.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have to go back to work till next Thursday after tomorrow. Yeah.
Lucky you.
I know, man. So like, I won't be staying over to do that training at all next week. Maybe see by the time Thursday rolls around, because they already asked for Saturday. They asked for Saturday yesterday.
Right.
And I said no. My mom's gonna be in town. I guess I could have done it because I could have been back.
At 10, you would have been done at 10.
10, but then I don't know what time they're wanting to come over.
Right.
Because my mom's coming over Friday, spending the night, coming over Saturday morning. I don't know exactly what time because Wyatt sometimes wakes up between 8:30 and 10.
Right.
So I just said no because I didn't want to like take any time away.
That's fine.
From
Okay.
that. Well, I know you don't care.
I'm there all the time.
But like for me, I was like, I don't know when I'm going back because I need to go in on a Saturday and do all that stuff, but I just don't know when I'm going to do it. I was thinking next week, but if I'm not coming in until Thursday, they may ask before that. So
it's all right. Whatever's no big deal.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to give a big stamp and suggest Persona 5 because I do think so far it is great. And honestly, you know, are you going to suggest this?
Yes.
Okay, but
do you disagree?
No. It's your suggestion. You can, as long as you tell the people what system to get it for.
PlayStation
2. And Xbox and GameCube for Dead to Rights. That's Mike's.
I want to. This will probably be my next suggestion because I am going to play it, and if it keeps the humor of any of the Army of Darkness, I will be happy as a clam.
You know what? This is off side note here. After you left, me and Blaine were talking, and he was excited to hear you about Evil Dead. But one of the games that he said that he played on the game or on the Xbox was Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And he's like, that game reminded me a lot of like Elder Scrolls for the time. He goes, and he explained the whole thing. He goes, it wasn't really perfectly done. He goes, but it had a lot of like, promise. It's like if the game were made like today, because it probably would be like the best pirate game ever made. And so I found it at Disc Replay.
Yeah.
Guess who made it?
Who?
Bethesda.
Surprise.
There's a reason why it's Elder Scrolls-ish, because it's made by Bethesda. Backing up to Persona 5. I have a feeling I'm going to like this game more than I liked Mass Effect Andromeda. Because Persona 4 Golden on Vita made an impact on me. To the point of I want to play the fighting Persona 4 game that they came out with, that extends the story somehow.
Right.
And there's the Persona 4 Dancing All Night on Vita. I'm going to get it, and I'm going to play it. I'm going to extend the story because I love those characters that much. I fell in love with the characters of Persona 4, and I want more of it any way I can.
Fair enough.
And Persona 5 is not Persona 4. It's not those characters,
But it's grown on you.
It never had a period where it wasn't growing on me. I jumped in, and it's like...
See, I don't like games where you're just like, oh, it's great right from the beginning. Because then it's just, it doesn't give you that sense of, like, feeling that this game has grown on you.
Well, here's the thing. Persona 4
it.
did grow for me to love it. I'm not saying that this game isn't going to be that. What I'm saying is, from the get-go, I feel just the same way about this as I did with Persona 4 starting off.
That's good.
And so instantly, have played Persona 4, coming into 5, I feel like I'm going to enjoy this game so much more.
Right.
Having played 4, having gone through 4, having gone through the emotional roller coaster that is Persona 4. And then coming into 5, I've heard 5 is absolutely amazing. I'm going to do, because I know I've said it here on the podcast, what the rating is for Persona 4 or 5.
It's like a 9.
Persona 5, what's that? Like Metacritic?
Metacritic.
Right. Metacritic, Persona 5. This is exclusive to PS4, by the way.
Yes.
It's on PS3. Metascore for critics, 93.
Yeah, as I said.
User score based on 1,618 ratings. So this is all the people who have played it. Do you remember what happened with Breath of the Wild? How it got downvoted so bad? 9.0 user score.
That's good.
Holy crap!
Which sucks about Breath of the Wild because
it is that good.
Those people should have never done that because they didn't even own the game. They hadn't even actually physically played it.
They did it just to downgrade it.
It's not
that
worth
didn't happen with Persona 5 because it's not a Zelda tier like mainstream. Everyone's buying it.
Yeah.
It is. These are the people who are playing the game and loving it, and telling everybody you need to play this.
Yep.
And Persona 5, I think, this is my personal opinion, because I've played enough of FF15 to give you an opinion on it.
Right.
But I haven't completed it. Persona 5 is going to be the standard JRPG for the PS4. You need to reach this level.
Really?
To be a great RPG.
Huh.
And I mean, I'm not going to try and take anything away from the Tales games. They are what they are. Persona has been doing something in the last few years, especially with like over in Japan. They've been raising. Final Fantasy has been falling as far as greatness. And Persona 3 was great. Which I haven't played, I just heard. Okay, Persona 4, I agree, 100%. Holy crap, the game was good.
Right.
That game hit home. And I feel 5 is going to be the same way. Even this early on. Because so far, everything that I'm playing with this game, it's 4, but better. So therefore, instantly, it's like, holy crap. Like, the storytelling is better, which is great. Because that's one thing, like, it was a negative with 4 with the way they told the story. But just the narrative with 5 so far, it starts you off instantly. And you're running and you're like fighting already. And you're like, I'm already in the story and I'm being chased. Starts off with your character getting arrested after he's been in the game already so far for like 6 months.
Huh. And
then you're being interrogated by somebody. And he retells the story. So the very beginning of the game is him retelling his story. And it occasionally pops back into the interrogation room.
Huh.
And I like that. Because it's something big is happening eventually.
Right.
And so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just say you should get that. And if you don't want to start there, that's fine. All the Persona games have different stories, so just like FF,
right,
with similar themes. They have the Velvet Room or something. They have like a lot of the monsters of the shadows have the same kind of basic design.
Right.
Like the Pixie looks like the Pixie. Jack Frost looks like Jack Frost. It's, so, which I can't wait to get Jack Frost. He was my favorite. He's so fucking cute. Have you ever seen Jack Frost? Did you get him?
No.
Oh, dude, man, you gotta see Jack Frost. I might not make Jack Frost a thumbnail. That would be funny if I just made him the thumbnail. People are like, what the heck? How does Jack Frost figure into the worst games ever made? Does he actually think Persona's that bad? And actually, no, he's not even on the list. Look at that little cute little fucker. Look at him. He's so cute. I love him. Anyway, guys, until next time. I didn't do my plugs. You can get our show on a lot of crap. You can get us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, Google Play Music. You can download us on your phone. You can listen to us in the car. Anywhere you want, dude. It's cool. You can go check us out onto gameaddicts.podbean.com and check out all of our old episodes, which I don't think we've actually hit the point where our RSS feed doesn't put all the episodes on the phone yet. We're getting close because this is episode 31.
Right.
You can look at us on YouTube. You can go watch us. We have a camera over there going kind of. You can just watch us and watch us look at each other, converse, and kind of occasionally look at the camera. You can.
Yeah.
We actually have some of the games that we talk about and have them in physical form, and we just have it going. And why not? Because people watch it there.
Yep.
And I think that is about it. If you want to check us out on social media, I'm active on Twitter and stuff like that. Game Addicts Play. I share all the stuff there. And shout out to all the Pottern family. I use that tag now for all those people trying. We help each other, just share our other podcasts. I found quite a few podcasts from that are like, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to check these guys out. And a big shout out to you guys and helping us out, trying to get the word out about this show.
Yes.
Until then, we can officially go home now. At least I can.
You can.
I've been Brando. He's been Mike. This has been another episode of the Game Addicts Podcast, and we will see you next week.